This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Tuesday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Appreciate everybody who's checking us out on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. We thank you so much for subscribing, rating, reviewing the show, sending the show to a friend. As we get into a Tuesday, we are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios with my friend Mason Woods. Mason back at it after resupplying the entire Home Depot yesterday. So look, stay out of Home Depot this week so he doesn't have to resupply it again on Monday, next Monday.
That'd be nice.
Well, here in the Derek Daniel Studio, you guys are watching us on YouTube, you're watching us on Twitter, and you're watching us on Facebook today on the BamaCentral Facebook page. Yeah, I got permission. I got connected into the BamaCentral. We're on the Big Boy Facebook page today. We thank everybody for subscribing to the BamaCentral Facebook page because you can keep up with all of our news. Every article that we write gets posted in some way, shape, or form to that Facebook page, and you can keep up with the Crimson Tide. We want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program, for being a part of the program, hosting the show. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Home, life, auto insurance, renter's insurance, everything you need. Look, Derek recently posted about saving a family a lot of money on their car insurance. We all know finances are a little tough. That's an area you can probably save some money. Call Derek and see 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. You go follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. I missed you yesterday, Mason. How we doing?
I missed you yesterday. You know, I had a tough day yesterday. It was a long day. You know, we kicked things off at the Home Depot. I told you that
2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got up crisp right about 3:30. I got myself out of bed. I snail crawled myself out of the bed, and got myself up to the bright orange building over there on Veterans Memorial Parkway, and was told that I'm going to spend the next 8 hours moving tile. And I did do that. I moved tile. I moved so much tile. I moved tile from here to one spot over for no reason. Ugh. We get through all that, tough things happening at home. Dinner doesn't go right. Dinner gets burned. I mess it all up. Oh, cat finds a mouse in the house. Got to get rid of the mouse. Go to take the mouse outside. Oh, step on a thorn in the yard. Now I've got something in my foot. And then, into the night, I'm ready to relax. Melissa's gone to bed. All I want to do is turn my brain off and watch a little wrestling. And here come the damn Netflix overlords to tell me, oh, looks like you're not in the right location of your family's Netflix account. I mooch off of my parents' Netflix account, who reside in another part of the state.
Parts unknown.
Sure. And I have now been told for the first time ever that I am no longer allowed to use this Netflix account. Now, they've taken it away from my TV. That happened a year ago, which was fine. I adjusted. I've been watching on my computer. That's cool. Can't even do that anymore. Can't watch on a mobile device. Can't do anything. So Netflix, I'm angry with you. You ruined my evening if it wasn't already bad enough. But I'm very thankful to be here in the Derek Daniel studio talking about sports,
and more. Dude, while you were away, we signed a new sponsor.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, while you were away, we love thank you, Derek, for hosting the show, but we love us some Warren Tire. Warren Tire and Auto Center has been a Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple since 1961. They're in their third generation, Mason, of family ownership. Warren Tire is the go-to place for all your automotive needs, now with two great locations to better serve you. If you need tires, brakes, and alignments, check out the 15th Street location at 205-759-5505. For all your other automotive needs, you can check them out at University Boulevard location right next to Nukes, 205-758-2739. That's Warren Tire and Auto Center. They got two locations right there by the hospital and University, or right there on 15th Street, right across, really right by the stadium. So you can call them for all your automotive needs. They have been as Tuscaloosa as you can get. Warren Tire and Auto Center. We really appreciate them sponsoring the program. And Mason and I are going to get our tires aligned today.
It's a good, strong phone number for them, too. It really rolls off the tongue.
205-759-5505. That's your 15th Street location. 205-758-2739. That's your University Boulevard.
I mean, if you have been to any sporting event, any event whatsoever at the university, you have seen Warren Tire. It's a staple of the area.
Absolutely. So I am blessed, thankful, appreciative, and really excited about having them on the show. Oh, Mason, I don't have any voicemails to carry the show today. That's
Nobody
okay.
called in to talk about this weekend?
Well, that's how I got rid of that.
I guess you probably went through it yesterday.
I got about 5 or 6 yesterday. Sure. So, yeah, if you want to call the voicemail line, we're open, 205-462-7340, extension 800. I will play your voicemail line. Yesterday, Mason, was a first. I took a voicemail during the show. I had Theo carry it for about 3 minutes while I and popped it in here. So if you do want to call, I'm not taking live phone calls right now because I still haven't figured that out quite yet. But you can get your voicemail on the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800.
Let me ask, how did the people react to the, I don't even know what you'd call it, what happened in Knoxville on Saturday?
Well, I had a Tennessee caller who did give us a troll job. He said, "Oh, Deacon Barnes, bless you guys." Well, thank you very much. Baptized by Meshack. I took a Robert from Brookwood called, and Robert called basically saying that he doesn't think there's a Final Four team. That obviously the talent is there, but Robert and I are reading from the same playbook right now.
You had the chance to prove you were a Final Four team.
Drive me nuts. So Dax called twice. Dax called halftime saying basically got to keep it up. And then he called second half, just broken heart.
I mean,
he said, "Oh, I'm depressed."
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That was, I think,
he said, "I'm going to go take a shower. I'm depressed."
That was, man. And for it to be Meshack too, the least likely suspect to hit the big shot at the end, maybe. Oh, that was just tough. That was a tough one for the Tide. You shouldn't have been in that position. You should have been up by a lot more in that game. You shouldn't have allowed Tennessee to keep you in that close. You allow, what was it, a 7-0 run in the last 30 seconds. So I don't even know, abysmal performance for Alabama in crunch time in that game. Tough decisions from Nate Oates, and I know he took a lot of accountability for it right after the game.
Sure.
But man, we got to be better than that.
I mean, our man Hunter Brantley called as well. He called in basically saying, was that Nate Oates on the sidelines or someone else? And lambasted him a little bit because you blew the game, coach.
Yeah.
Coach. I mean, we got to give him credit on the flip side. He did come right out and say, "Oh man, I think I really blew this for the guys."
And I respect that. Love any coach that can come out and immediately, and not in a performative way, actually take some specific blame for things.
He will. I mean, it was genuine, at least from my perspective. He was, I think I really messed this up.
That's a lot different than coming out there and being like, well, that one's on me, guys. It felt very genuine. It felt like, I'm pointing to specific things that happened down the stretch where I made poor decisions.
We took one more call. New caller from Opelika who claimed to have been drinking 18 beers. They were not happy with the performance. So I think that was all. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. If you did call, you can call again, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Leave your thoughts on the program and on the show. All right, he said, Coach Oates, we didn't do a great job closing it. I'm going to take most of the blame for the last 30. It's on me. I subbed our bigs out to get the rebound before I should have. I shouldn't have subbed them out until after we secured the rebound. So that was on me, and I had a chance to call timeout. Coaches can call timeout on the inbounds play and at 4. I should have called it. I thought we were getting it in. That's on me. I mean, he just keeps on going with things that he should have done better.
And I think that's the a good way for a coach to kind of take accountability like that. That feels a lot more genuine than sometimes when coaches do these kinds of things.
That's tough. I was stuck on the end of half sequence yesterday, Mason. I couldn't get off it, and the end of game sequence. The two end of period sequences just stuck in my craw and makes me. These are the pieces of evidence that tell me that you don't respect winning. You don't respect, and I got into it with Theo saying, you guys have set me up saying national championship or bust, which I've always been uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that you've set me up, I'm not seeing it. And of course, look, there's the 5% chance, there's the 10% chance, there's whatever the number is.
Anybody that gets to the tournament can win it.
Of course. We saw it last year. You can flip a switch, things can happen. Great. So I'm not going to say they cannot be a Final Four team, can't be a national championship team, but I'm also not betting my money that they will be.
No, I heard on a college basketball, it was either a halftime show podcast. I don't remember exactly where it was, but somebody posed the question of if you were given
Everett loves you.
If you were given the option to pick Duke or Auburn or the field, who would you pick?
Auburn.
Yeah, don't take Duke or Auburn. That's
I get both of them?
Yes, you can take either of those teams or the field. Like, it's those two teams. They have very clearly, those two teams are championship caliber teams. They are playing at a championship level. Alabama has not gotten there. Now, we see it in spurts. You see it in 5-8 minute stretches, but that's all you see it.
That's what was so.
Thank you, Everett.
Yeah, that was so frustrating. Everett Osmer is joining us on the Facebook machine. You can join us on Facebook. Mason Woods for head basketball coach and Joe Gaither for assistant basketball coach. We would not win many games, but we would yell loud.
That is very true.
There would be lots of loud yelling.
I'll tell you what, you'd remember you played us. One way or another, you would remember it.
Would it be because you pulled a Bobby Knight and threw a chair on the floor?
Precisely. Maybe I'd send you over there to powerbomb one of the assistants. Sixth man off the bench. Here comes Joe with an RKO.
I love it. We can have a 1-game tenure. Basketball coaches at University XYZ fired today.
We're trying to bring some toughness back to the sport. Disappointing, though. Disappointing. That's really
drives me
and
nuts.
Disappointing is like an understatement because
drives me nuts.
I'm sitting there on Saturday and I am beside myself with anger, disgusted, ready to break my TV. I was so upset. It was it was right there. You had that win in your hands. You had both hands around it, and then you just
by the neck. So Hunter's call was killing Jaren Stevenson for that rebound at the end. You let Meshack scoop around you on offense for an offensive rebound, and you fouled him.
Mm-hmm. That was bad. That was a bad.
It was just everything in that last minute. And I know we went over it yesterday, but Mason didn't get a chance. Everything in that last, you can just drove me nuts. We talked about Chris Youngblood, basically MIA the whole game, and Youngblood being the one that fouls the free throw, fouls the layup at the end of the half to make a 2-point play, a 3-point play. Cutting the gap from 7 to 4. A
lot of boneheaded plays.
Yes.
A lot of, seemed like frustration fouls at times. Things that a disciplined basketball team who is ready for a deep tournament run does not do.
So let me throw one thing Theo did say, and he said Alabama's still better than Tennessee.
On paper, sure. On paper, yeah, they're better than almost anybody on paper. I mean, they're better than Auburn on paper. But you put them on the floor and they cannot produce. What is on paper cannot translate to the court. So, if we want to play hypotheticals, I mean, if you want to go, if we go band for band with Tennessee, player for player, yes, you're probably going to pick Alabama's roster over Tennessee's. But it's the way that Tennessee plays, the way that they're able to get in your head, the way that they're able to slow the game down and force you to play to their pace that is so effective and was so effective on Saturday. Disappointing.
Yeah, so I said the difference is Tennessee knows who they are.
Yeah.
And
Alabama does not.
Leans into it. I
don't think they do. I think Alabama thinks they're someone different than they are.
Really?
I think they think that they are on the Auburn or Duke level. And that's why they play so laissez-faire.
So I think that there's probably some room here in this conversation for Joe and Mason and Theo to be too tough on Alabama and not be taking the context of how difficult the SEC has been.
This is fair.
I mean, ultimately, we're sitting here. Football spring practice started yesterday, and I don't want to talk about it because everything going on with basketball. Specific to me, that's not that unusual, but specific to Tuscaloosa and West Alabama, highly unusual. I mean, goodness gracious, if this show had been airing 8 years ago, my math's all funny, so what's that be, 2016? We'd be playing the is Jalen Hurts going to be the starting quarterback game right here on this program. We wouldn't be playing we'd be playing Bubble Watch on this program. We'd be playing Are We In or Is This? What can we do with these last two games? Who needs to lose? How many games do we need to win in the SEC tournament?
Sure. This is true. And here we are talking about a 3-point loss to a top 5 team.
So there's a little bit of context that needs to be delivered. I'm still just like what I said at the very beginning. I think they could make a deep run.
They can beat anyone.
100%. But if you said you have your last $100, Joe, you have to put a wager on it and you have to make it hit. I'm gambling on an Elite Eight run. Mm-hmm. I'm gambling on some team to jump up and snipe them in that 16, 18, maybe even Final Four, but a 16, 8, and 4, right in that range. Respect the game.
You are good enough.
Respect the game.
You are good enough to get by with just how talented you are and beat up on smaller teams in the first 2 rounds of the tournament.
Sure.
Maybe if you get some favorable matchups.
Sure.
But once it comes to crunch time, and you're playing other Power 5 teams, other Power 4 teams that have played a tough schedule, that have been gone through the ringer this year, like you have. That's when it gets down to it, and I have not seen it from Alabama that they can overcome those kinds of things. Now, maybe they can, like you said, but I've not seen them put together a consistent full game where they lead me to believe, okay, this team is ready for March.
All right, let's move off this just a little bit, move into some more of the other topic. Goodness gracious, there was so much over the weekend.
Sure was. It was a busy, loaded weekend.
And I know we're on Tuesday already, but we're still we didn't talk about the combine at all yesterday. Not 1 second. It was me and Theo just literally just yan at each other over how this basketball game went.
Seems like a valid way to spend time.
Ugh. All right,
so we could do that here today.
We've gotten to 50. I mean, unless you have more. I don't want to cut you off.
No,
I've gone way too long.
Off. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just we certainly could, because it makes me that angry.
All right, so dealer's choice. We're going CJ Dupree, Tyler Booker, Jahad Campbell, or Jalen Milroe. Which one you want? Roll the dice.
CJ Dupree. This feels like the most fun story of the bunch. I want to start here.
They all get
up watching.
Yeah, they all get up in front of the microphone at the podium or at the NFL Combine, and everybody talks. I mean, you get 10 minutes, you get 15 minutes, whatever the case may be, and the questions can go really anywhere. CJ Dupree was asked, "What would you change about college football?" And I think this answer tells us a lot. He says this answer, this is written, Mike Rodak actually wrote this. Good job, Mike. Well done. Last week, Mike wrote this at 6:30 p.m. on a Friday night, didn't you? Golly, no, on a Thursday night. Okay, so you're not as sick as I thought.
Iron Man.
Dude, he's amazing. I'm sorry. I know this is all competition. He's damn good. He writes this. He writes this quote: "I do think NIL is getting a little out of hand." He says, "I was in the portal. I got NIL money, but I think it's kind of getting away from the main focus of football. There's people making too much money. How do you look at somebody getting more money and then you're playing more? I think it's leveling the playing field, but there still needs to be a lot more restrictions than there are now." It's kind of a freak continue. Actually, no. This is Malachi Moore. Malachi Moore's quote is on the same from the combine. It's kind of like a free for all right now with all the portal and the money and the stuff. And then, yeah, it continues on. It continues going basically on more transfer portal stuff. He talks about Justice Saints, this, that, and the other. But what stuck out to me is I was in the portal. I got NIL money, but I think it's kind of getting away from the main focus of football. There's people making too much money. How do you look at somebody getting more money and then you're playing more? I think it's leveling the playing field, but there still needs to be a lot more restrictions than there are now.
Do we think CJ Dupree tried to set up a meeting with Kalen DeBoer and was stonewalled about an NIL boost this year?
No, what it sounds like to me is that CJ Dupree was. I mean, how many snaps did you log this year? A lot, and great on you. We'll love watching you play.
Yeah.
But it sounded like there were some folks that didn't log near as many snaps that made more money than CJ Dupree, and maybe fat cat on the sidelines preened in the locker room. Look at my watch this, my new phone that. I don't know. That's speculation. But like
I get where you're coming from, CJ. Like that sucks, man. But sorry, I don't that you're about to go to the NFL where there's going to be players who might not play as much as you that will make more money than you. Like I don't this is just kind of the way of the world. Not everything's going to be equal, my man. Like sorry that you weren't a highly sought after high school recruit and did not get this attention that someone else is getting.
All right, you look at that line. That's great. Go to the line before, but I think it's kind of getting away from the main focus of football. There's people making too much money. Well, I mean, that started there because I think that is. I mean, yeah, you've got the personal element of I might have not made the value that I thought that I was making. I don't really care about that because great, CJ. What I am stuck on is
getting away from football.
Right. You're getting away from football, getting away from the main focus of football. There's people making too much money. So how much money is really in that locker room at Alabama? I don't know. We can presume, I mean, based on Ohio State's $13 to $20 million roster, Alabama probably somewhere in the 8 to 12, 8 to 15 range. And then you divide that up by 85 and everybody's on different scales. Okay, whatever. You can make an idea. Is CJ saying there's guys making too much money? It's getting away from football. How do you tie that in with Rock Montgomery's comments on the Bama Standard?
I did not even think about that. Man, oh man.
Shout out Bama Standard.
Paints a picture a little bit. I think it maybe paints a picture of the first year under Kalen DeBoer, just a hair. You came in, you lost all of these recruits, and you found a way to get many of them back. I don't know how you did that. Maybe there's a lot of NIL money tossed around to a lot of players who had, threatened to leave or who had threatened to not commit. And maybe that created an environment where many of these players now had access to a lot of things without having been on the field yet. And the players who had been here, who had stayed committed and not decided to enter the transfer portal or anything like that, maybe didn't get the same attention.
I just thought it was interesting that I just thought it was, I don't want to make some sort of a narrative and make some sort of declaration that, this, that, and the other about this team this past year. But I just think it continues to give you a little window of
just a touch.
Maybe it wasn't all about football. Maybe.
I mean, this is now, the second player to kind of lead us in that direction. I really don't know. We were not there. We're not there in the locker room. We don't see what it's like. We don't know exactly where this money is being allocated, how it's being divvied up between these players. But it is just certainly an interesting perspective that we've now seen from Rock Montgomery and CJ Dupree on the same topic, or, speaking kind of on the same topic.
On the field, CJ, your performance was not terrible, really. 4.69 from the 40. You're blazing past me, buddy. 1.56 on your 10-yard split. 34.5-inch vertical jump, 10-foot broad jump, and you repped 200. What is it? 275 or 250?
I can't remember.
You repped 32 reps on the bench press. I think it's at 275.
225.
225, which
I couldn't get that up once.
There was a time where that was like my top end, like once or twice. That's not getting off the bar right now. Sorry.
No, I think I would. I think my shoulder would just dislocate itself.
You have lots of long time shoulder issues also.
I do.
Throwing those 95 mile an hour fastballs in ninth grade.
More like 55 mile an hour meatballs in my senior year of high school after having not pitched my entire life.
His production score is, according to Next Gen Stats, 63. I don't know how to quantify that. 2025.
I don't know how to.
How do you quantify that? 2025 combine tight end ranked 17th. His total score was 70. I don't know what that even means. He was given 5.89, which is average backup or special teamer. Okay.
Yeah, as I have tried to gather a little bit, I think
It's a athleticism score, but I don't
Yes.
know what is weighted what.
I don't know how they weight everything, but it's relative, to other players. I think of the same build and the same position and like that, from past years, and like it's all super convoluted. It seems like it's just another way for people to try to quantify what they're seeing when you kind of just have to watch it and find out for yourself.
32-inch arms, 9 5/8 inches on the hand. So great job, CJ. I appreciated CJ's candor. I know where you're going. We're going there right next. Yes, that's what I'm trying to set up. I appreciate CJ's candor all year long with us in the media and this past weekend at the NFL Combine. He was always great with us.
I think he would be I think he would make a team happy as a, just backup guy that sits around the roster, gets in a handful of plays a game, and makes something happen on special teams. Maybe.
Hey, UDFA for the Bears, we'll take you
Sure.
right now. You can be our fourth tight end. That'd be perfect for us. Special teamer / fourth tight end.
I think there's a role for him on the NFL roster.
Mason Woods, did Jalen Milroe take HGH in the last 3 weeks?
Look, as a man with tiny hands myself, Jalen, how do I get bigger hands, man? How did you do it? The man's hand grew like 30% in a week.
I'm gonna set this up. Look up the Senior Bowl measurement and then the combine measurement. You can just type in Jalen Milroe combine and it'll pop up that measurement. I'm not sure where you get the Senior Bowl measurement. If you didn't see it, he goes to Senior Bowl last month and gets measured. Do you have it? Not quite yet. He gets measured
8 3/4 at the Senior Bowl.
Great. Okay. Then we go 3 weeks later and you get measured at the NFL Combine and you get measured
9 3/8. A half inch of growth.
That's insanity. So what I was reading, how is this possible?
Stretching techniques.
Right. How is this possible? A bunch of scouts on the interweb said that the Senior Bowl scouts didn't measure the right way.
That I could believe.
That they measured from 1 point to 1 point, and they should have, right.
Sure.
Instead of how they
makes
do
the story a lot less fun, though. I like to think that Milroe spent the last week
just stretching.
Yeah.
You get those little like hand grippers things and just like ripping.
He had a private masseuse stretching his hand out, Yeah.
All right, so we didn't talk about this on the show because this kind of happened after the Friday show, and so much has happened. But I did tweet about it. I tweeted about Jalen Milroe saying that he wasn't going to run the 40. Let me see. Did that actually happen? Milroe, because I did see we did look at some of the throws. He said, I don't think I'm going to run the 40. I think I'm going to throw. And I was like on Twitter, what are you doing, brother? You need to show the NFL scouts what you're good at, which is running. Yeah, did not throw. No, only measured. Only height, weight, hand. No activities for Jalen Milroe other than throwing.
Interesting.
I think you did
NFL
okay.
Comparison here, Cordell Stewart.
That's probably right.
Yeah,
that's probably exactly right. Cordell Stewart was like quarterback,
but it was
running back and kick and punt returner at Colorado.
But that was before that type of player ever existed, really.
Yeah.
Now we get one of these guys every year. Like Jalen, this isn't really a special category of player anymore.
Cordell Stewart was one of the first quarterbacks I really remember. Golly, I hope I made everybody feel old that listen to that. I really do. Yeah, honestly, okay. So I watched the throwing. The hand thing is funny. The hand thing is funny, but I think it's an easy explanation. I don't think that
anyone that's in the know knows what the explanation for that is.
So basically, they said that they measured like the inside of the palm instead of tip to tip is the difference. Okay, so easy explanation. We all can move on. What's going to be even better is at Alabama Pro Day.
It'll be even bigger.
Yes, just add I don't care if it's accurate or not. Because
get them up to 5/8.
Yes, just add another 2/8 inches right in there.
That'd be good.
That's what you need to do. I kind of remember. I remember last year, was it Dallas Turner? Yeah, Dallas was vertical jumping at Pro Day, and I was counting them, and my count ended up being completely different from what happened at the combine. But like we were way away from them, so I'm like watching them like this. And somebody came up to me after and said, "Hey, Joe, are you sure you got that count right?" And I go, "I think I did, but we were, 40 yards away,
Sure.
and obviously all the scouts are right up on the on the on the event, and so I'm just behind this guy." I said, "I'm gonna delete that tweet because there's a decent chance that I'm wrong there."
There's I think pro day numbers you always have to like take with a little bit of grain of salt.
Who cares?
Because they are pro day put on by the school that these players are coming from, where they're in their most favorable environment with all their favorite guys around them. The times are always hand timed. It's never laser timing like they have at the combine or anything like that. So take everything you see at pro days with just a grain of salt. Sure, the throws can still translate and things like that, but also keep in mind that those are his guys, those are his receivers. He's spent all this time with. He's not going to have that same chemistry with those guys in the NFL.
All right, so I don't really care about the hand size. I think it's funny. I think it's just funny to joke about. What I wanted to, the reason that he was on my list here is, I think he actually threw decently.
He did
not. He didn't surprise me as far as, that was a lot better than I thought. But it wasn't as bad as I thought either.
I don't think he went out there and like tanked his stock or anything.
Sure.
I don't think he necessarily improved it, but I don't think he went out there and it was like, oh my God, this is exactly what we all knew. Jalen Milroe's terrible.
Right.
It was like, okay, he's serviceable on some deep balls. He can, he's inconsistent, but he can hit some. Maybe with the right guy who can rein him in a little bit, he'll be okay.
Right. So what I saw was a bunch of okay throws, a few, that was a good throw, and a couple, that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like everything we already knew, buddy. Good.
Not any like wow throws, and he's never been known for those wow throws. It's you hit a nice throw to a wide open receiver 40 yards downfield.
On air, I don't care what these guys do in underwear in Indianapolis. I really do not care, and we'll go to the lineman here in a minute. Go ahead.
I was quite thankful, and maybe it was just because my Twitter timeline was so WWE centric this week, but I was very thankful to not have to see any clips of any quarterbacks doing the rollout to the left and then jump and fling it downfield, because every quarterback does that in the game. That's a very common football play. I hate that so much.
I would actually have liked to have seen that from Jalen Milroe, because I would like to have known if his body can move that way.
Oh, I hate that clip. Everybody drools over it. Look at what he did.
Rolls out left, flips your hips back right, then bombs it deep down the field. Okay, great. What happened to Tyler Booker? Okay, so yeah, WWE centric. If you haven't seen it, Booker runs the slowest 40 time of any offensive lineman at 5.38. And okay, we don't care about 40 time for a lineman. That's but what we do care about is the 10-yard split, which was also the slowest of any offensive lineman at 1.96 seconds. You know what? This hurts my heart from a personal standpoint, because this just means that you're not be drafted at 10 by the Bears.
Yeah, probably not. I think that does hurt him, unfortunately. I think it's dumb that it does.
Right. Look at the Deckham tape.
Yeah, I don't remember. I saw a lot of people talking about the combine or the 40-yard dash, the fastest job interview in the world. It's like, and I've heard athletes and things talk about it on podcasts and interviews and such, and it's just there is so much pressure, so much buildup for this one event, and then it's like God forbid your foot slips just a little bit. Who knows? Like I didn't see it. I don't know. Maybe he is just that slow.
Well, I don't know if you ran twice. I did see one of the runs, and one of the runs, I love you, Tyler, but you ran straight up. You popped straight up out of your break. Sure. That's gonna slow down your first 10 yards.
And maybe maybe he did not spend a lot of time this offseason training with someone to go over a 40, because he knows he's an offensive lineman, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter a ton, because he has put out very good tape. But unfortunately, this might keep him from being a top, 12 pick or so, because NFL GMs are stupid.
They're really dumb.
They put a lot of weight on this 5 seconds of, this player's life rather than the 4 years of tape they've put on. It might drop him to the, late first, maybe even out of the first round, unfortunately.
Tyler Booker's vertical jump was 27 inches, 14th out of the 15 offensive linemen. His broad jump, 7 feet, 10 inches. 15th out of the 15 linemen. Now, you measured 6'4", 321, your wingspan 34.5 inches, hand length, which is 11 inches, which is among the bigger wingspan and hand length recorded among the offensive linemen. What I'm seeing from Tyler Booker as far as what has happened over the weekend in draft, and look, this is just scuttlebutt. He could be drafted in number 3, whatever. But a lot of people are now moving him in from the 10, 11, 12 range to the 16, 17, 18. Cincinnati Bengals at 18 is now kind of the popular spot.
No, thank you.
Yeah, don't.
No one's allowed to protect Joe Burrow. He deserves no protection. He should go out there with no offensive lineman.
Just said, huh.
That would be perfect. That'd be a perfect NFL Sunday for me.
Why do you hate Joe Burrow?
I can't.
The LSU factor?
He owns the Titans also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what else do we have here today? Where are we? We're at 36 minutes. Oh, my gosh. We need to tell you where we are. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard. You can call Derek at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Make sure you call them. Red Reese and Victoria are upstairs right now waiting to talk to you. They'd be happy to talk to you about the problems that you're facing in your life. And look, we're all facing problems in our life. So call them, 205-758-3391. Home, life, auto insurance. Are you changing apartments? You need new renters insurance? Absolutely. You absolutely need renters insurance. Because when things go bad, you need to protect your stuff inside the home. Renter's insurance is important. So call Derek at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel and State Farm is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. We also want to tell you about our brand new sponsor. We so appreciate Warren Tire and Auto Center. They have been a Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple since 1961. They're in their 3rd generation of ownership. Shout out Russ Warren. Warren Tire is the go-to place for all your automotive needs. They've got 2 great locations for tires, brakes, and alignment. That's 15th Street. So you call them at 205-759-5505. For all other automotive needs, need something. What would you need? You need oil change. You need some fluid. I'm terrible with cars. You need fluid refill, oil change. Oh, did you have transmission problems? That would be University Boulevard. The 15th Street is tires, brakes, and alignment. Everything else is University Boulevard. You need some engine problems,
electrical issues,
electrical.
Sure.
You need to call. AC problems probably deal with you on University of Boulevard.
Get on that now before it starts to get hot.
Oh, my gosh. It will get hot. So call them at University Boulevard at 205-758-2739. Warren Tire and Auto Center. We appreciate them sponsoring the program. We want you to use them. Tires, brakes, and alignment, 15th Street. Everything else, University Boulevard. Warren Tire and Auto. We appreciate them so much. Sponsoring the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. All right, Mason, what else do I have on my sheet? I got like 3 more things on my sheet, don't I?
I went through a summer one time with an air-conditionless car. That was tough. The driver's side window also didn't roll down.
Brutal.
It was awful. It was punishment because I had hit a curb in the car that I had in high school. Beautiful 2003 Highlander. Still love it to this day. She was a tank. But I hit a curb, and to punish me, they said, "Oh, you get to drive your mom's old car that had been parked in our driveway for years at that point." Only the back windows rolled down. No AC. I didn't have a rear view mirror in it either. It was good times.
I'm sure they can install you a rear view mirror at Warren Tire and Auto Center, but you got to go to the university location for that
there
part.
We go.
No AC and
that was awful.
And only windows that roll down from the back.
So bad.
Like, that's useless.
It was
windows that roll down from the back are useless to the driver.
It was awful. It was not a fun summer. And I played Legion baseball too, so I was driving on all the time, all around to go to baseball games and things. That was tough. Hey, learned my lesson though. Haven't hit a curb since.
Watch out for them curbs. If you hit a curb, call Warren Tire and Auto. They can take care of you. Call us at 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can leave us a voicemail if you want to talk about the Underwear Olympics at the NFL Combine, if you want to talk about the Alabama basketball team or spring football.
Sure.
Spring
Keelan
football.
Russell, a nice clip coming out.
I didn't watch the clips yesterday.
I saw one of the quarterbacks.
They emailed us a clip, didn't they? Let me find it. They emailed us a clip.
Emailed us some propaganda.
Yes, which I don't like. All that tight shot stuff.
I do hate that.
Now that's just me being a curmudgeon because
Every team does it.
Right. I want to see all 22 from the top angle. Come on, guys. And of course, Kalen DeBoer and Alabama Athletics is definitely going to give all of that to us. Hey, guys, you want an all 22 shot of the entire practice? That's what Joe wants.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Coach, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The one clip I did see was all three quarterbacks. And again, very tight shots where, we're talking like you're tight on the quarterback's back, you see his number, and then you're tight on the receiver catching the ball, basically. No, you don't see the full extension, ball flies through the air, you kind of get it cut up. But it was, it was all three of them. Ty Simpson making a nice throw. I don't remember I couldn't tell who it was to. But then Austin Mack, same thing. Another little look to be, they were kind of trying to simulate a little seam ball up the middle type. And then Keelan Russell steps in, delivers a strike. Now, he looks tiny.
Did you see
small?
Do I still have my roster on me from yesterday? No, I need to find it. 175, I think, is what I saw.
That
Something
feels generous.
Tiny.
I'm not even gonna lie, that feels generous.
Oh no. Here we go. Aha.
Even that feels generous.
He was asked yesterday. Kalen DeBoer was asked about Keelan Russell's weight gain. Yeah. Because he's gained. It was 175. He's 192 according to the roster.
I don't believe that. I think 175 is maybe what he is.
6'3", 192, according to our friends inside the building. And he, so Coach was asked about it, and he complimented. Oh, he's coming in here. He's adhering to the program. He's eating this. He's weight room that.
What do you think they're feeding him? Steak every day?
Just
steak
like
and potatoes?
Bowls of just
as much
diluted
as he wants.
Diluted protein, just like
he's just getting paste, protein paste,
pure. Just
they've got him with those little like tubes, and he's
just like they have it broke down to
hooked up to an IV.
Yes, such a science of just like, all right, come get your nutrition. Like they're not eating, they're not really eating. It is just like a science project,
it is purely fuel.
For all of 20 minutes. 20 minutes for Coach DeBoer yesterday. Thank you so much for having us in the program. It was great. We didn't get to see practice. That's okay. We will see some practice in the future. That was obviously not for the first day. We respect that. I hate those first day press conferences. I asked a couple of questions. Yesterday with Theo Mason, I ended up playing the what's the question we can ask Coach DeBoer that he'll actually answer. I ended up throwing some questions at him, and he answered them okay. He gave me a couple of coach speak.
Diplomatically.
Right. I asked, because broad base, what is a successful spring practice? Getting better every day. We got to work it on getting better. Okay, great. I just wonder how you define, like, what steps do you want to take? Like, it used to be, I think it used to be pretty clear what spring practice was, but now with this ominous spring portal, what is this?
I don't really know either, because like you said, it used to be pretty clearly defined. This is where jobs kind of get decided, like a lot of times.
The start of really,
yes. Yeah, this is where you're staking your claim for whether or not you're gonna go into the fall as like, all right, this guy's probably our starter and he's here to lose it, or this guy needs to fight to earn a starting job. Now though, like you said, with the portal, it's just like, we don't know, man. Half these kids could be gone in 6 weeks.
Exactly. That's what's maddening. Of course, look at this roster. It's great. I'm starting to learn these names. There's some names on there I haven't seen yet. And what's this guy's name? Billy Bean and Charlie Hustle. And okay, great. But so he's asked yesterday a couple of times about I don't know if it was yesterday or another day, but about transfer portal in the spring. About look at your roster. Where do you think we're gonna be needing to shop for? And he throws out this and that. And he goes, but the problem is, if I go shopping, if I go shopping
old Timmy over here,
I need, throw out a position, I don't care. I need a left guard. I'm going to go shopping for a left guard. Oh, Billy Smith, I like you. You want to come to Alabama? Billy Smith comes, and then 3 left guards leave. Like, so what do you do in spring? What? He was asked yesterday about A-Day, And he basically gave, we had a modified version last year. I think we're going to have another modified version this year. And, we will put on a football activity for the fans. I think it's going to be practice. I think it's going to be a scripted practice. Probably.
They'll be in full pads.
They might be in full pads, but it'll be very controlled. Yeah. It'll be like it won't look like football. It won't look like a game. It will look like a practice. Because I think you just the hardest thing for these guys is, how do I keep everybody plugged in right here today? Oh, it drives me nuts. And it makes me want to not talk about the sport, because it makes me the instability makes me feel futile in covering it.
We have to fix the calendar here. This is again, it is once again reared its ugly head on this show. I was talking about the college football calendar and how problematic it is. You got to fix it. We got to get down to, if we're going to do the transfer thing, give me one transfer window a year. I think that's more than fair. If your coach leaves, you get your 2 weeks, whatever we discussed a week or so ago. It's so ridiculous how much control that the players have over everything now. And I understand for so long they had absolutely zero control over anything, which that was also ridiculous. But just completely steering the opposite direction and going as far as you can that way is not the answer here. The answer with everything is somewhere in the middle. You have to find some common ground here between the programs, the NCAA, the institutions like the SEC, Big Ten, whoever it is, and the players. There has to be common ground there. It cannot just be players get to run rampant and do whatever they want. Schools get to throw money at whoever they want, however much they want, whenever they want. It's insane.
All right, so actual news that he did give us. Appreciate that. And look, he was very forthcoming right out the bat. Right out the bat. Hey, guys, before we get started, need to tell you some injury updates for everybody. All right, so we're just going to go through these real quick. Alex Asperov, punter, out. David Bird, long snapper, out. Arian Bubba Hampton, wide receiver, out. This fellow has changed his name. It was Cavante Henry, the transfer from the JUCO transfer. I now read it, and it's on the roster as Fatutua. Fatutua, F-A-T-U-T-O-A, Fatutua. It was Cavante Henry, but that's something we will learn altogether. Fatutua Henry out, defensive lineman. Damani Jackson, cornerback, is out. Deontay Lawson, linebacker, is out. Danny Lewis Jr., tight end, is out. Keon Sabb, defensive back, is out. Limited or non-contact. Justin Jefferson, linebacker. Caden Proctor, offensive lineman. And James Smith, defensive lineman. I don't really want to spend time. Oh, what are we going to do? All these injuries were presented to us as old injuries from last year, cleanup surgeries, or, just re-recovering from last season, essentially. The only reason I brought it up was to mention all the names and to ask what you would do at left tackle, Mason, with Caden Proctor being limited, non-contact, I think he's out there running the bike. I think he's out there doing some little this, little that, but I don't think he's taking a whole lot of contact. So you've got issues on the offensive line, not major, but you were walking into the year thinking Parker Brailsford, you're thinking Jaden Roberts, you were thinking Caden Proctor, and you're thinking Wilkin Formby. You're thinking about this left guard spot as being the only open spot. But I wonder if you've got left guard, if you've got left tackle, spring, left guard, left tackle. And if you have left tackle, does that open right tackle up because Wilkin's working at left? I don't know. But is Wilkin going to do the Elijah Pritchett from last year when Caden Proctor was transferred to Iowa? I'm playing right and left. I'm playing right and left. And if that does, all right, how do we get through spring is really the question here.
I don't love the idea of Wilkin moving over just because I don't think that's his long-term position, left tackle. I think he is a right tackle. I don't think he has really the athleticism to play left tackle that you need. I think you need to be, just a little bit of a different level of athlete to play that position, because that's where you're going to be facing the team's best edge rushers and things like that. So I think Wilkin is a right tackle, at his best. I think that's where his best spot is. So I don't really find a lot of merit in moving him over there just to fill a gap when you do have a player like Jackson Lloyd or someone like even Olaus-Lennon.
That's who was thrown out yesterday. Olaus-Lennon and Michael Carroll were the two names
Michael
tossed.
Carroll is, I think he has the size to do it. And, I think he played more interior at IMG. But he's like 6'6", 315, I think. So
Michael Carroll listed, oh my God, bingo, 2 points for Mason, 6'6" to 315 on the roster. Ding, ding, ding. Well done.
Look there.
You get you get Theo's fine from yesterday. Theo had a phone go off, so we need to charge him $1. You get his $1. We need to have a little jar in here, and just you have a phone go off. You say the wrong curse word, maybe. You break a microphone, Joe.
But no, I think I like both those options. I don't really, unless your long-term plan is to move Michael Carroll to tackle, which again, he has the size to play it. I think he probably has the skill set to do it. I think we saw him play more interior in high school, but again, you recruited him for a reason. He was a premier offensive lineman prospect in general. He's got the goods, I think.
He's got the goods.
But I don't really understand moving him over.
That's an old Lebertard line that you didn't even know you used. He's got the goods.
He does. I don't know. Between Michael Carroll and Jackson Lloyd, they're both true freshmen. I don't understand moving one over a position when you already, kind of brought him in as an interior guy. At least so it seemed. I like Jackson Lloyd a lot. I know you like him a lot.
I love him.
He is extremely the potential there is extremely high. He's so athletic. He is such a unique, tackle prospect that why not start getting him as many reps as you can as early as you can, so that by the time he's set to take over that spot, he can just slide right in. I don't really get this. Well, let's move some other guys around and put them in front of him and just keep him on the back burner.
I think that this issue illustrates exactly why the Alabama fans, and really us as analysts covering the team, don't need to react to anything in the spring.
Sure.
Like anything. Of course, if someone has a devastating injury, we will react to that. And that's a problem. We don't want that for anyone on any team. Across college football. But you're looking right here at left tackle. You've got, all right, who in their right mind is going to tell you that Caden Proctor's not starting at left tackle for the Crimson Tide next year? If they are, they're not in their right mind. So you got a starter at left tackle. And we're moving Olaus-Lennon a little bit for some reps, according to Kalen DeBoer. We're putting Michael Carroll in there for some reps. And Coach basically alluded to the fact that Michael Carroll's probably future is inside. But what he wasn't just like, this many reps for this guy, this many reps for that guy. No. You're going to have to do some context clues. Jackson Lloyd was never mentioned. Wilkin Formby was never mentioned. And not that they aren't performing, but there's some context clues here. I just think that when you get to April 12th and you get to see this team in Bryant-Denny Stadium and you see whether it's Olaus-Lennon, whether it's Jackson Lloyd, whether it's Wilkin playing left, whether it's Michael Carroll, you go down the list. Cam Dewberry probably going to play inside. Whether it's this Arkel Anugwam fella. Just
relax.
Get to the spring portal window, and then we'll start making decisions.
Yeah, you've also got Micah DeBose back there, another freshman. Like, you have a trio of freshmen on this team, 3 freshman offensive linemen, all of which are like big-time premier prospects, and they could just be gone.
The issue, the biggest issue is you've got to protect the quarterback battle. And so you're talking about, I don't know if Wilkins' future is that right? You're right. Is it left? I think you're probably correct. His future is a right tackle, but you're protecting a quarterback battle with 3 young quarterbacks. And if you're getting murdered off the left side on a third of your reps or whatever percentage of your reps, well, you're wasting reps.
True.
I just think this is the crux of college football's problem right now. All the rosters are
in flux.
Yes. And then you add, 15 guys are also recovering from injury. And so you're also going to have to mitigate, work through that as well. That's why I will be at practice every time I'm there. Thank you. I will be in front of the podium every time but I'm not sitting here fiending for spring practice news because I don't think this is really worth a whole lot.
No, I think just the nature of the beast now, college football kind of starts and ends in the fall. It starts with fall camp. That's where things really start to get locked in, and you go until the end of January this year, like we did.
You got to get through the spring portal window before I start reacting to anything because if I start,
there's so many moving parts.
Right. If I start sitting here talking about, I don't even know who would transfer out. But if Billy Bean's doing great at spring practice, I know he's on the third string, but he's really doing great. And he goes in the spring portal and he transfers to Georgia or transfers to whoever, Western Tech U. I will feel like I just wasted a lot of energy.
Sure.
And so I'm just kind of want to wait and see who excites me. We didn't see anything yesterday, so I'm not going to say nothing excited me. What excited me?
They were on the field.
Right. We walked into the indoor facility. Thank you for having us. Absolutely. Thank you for having us. But you didn't see anything that was worth, hey, listener, hey, viewer, this is what you need to know from practice yesterday. And that 5-minute video that I just watched as we were BSing is the same thing. I can see guys stretching. I know what a pass looks like. What does it look like under fire? What does it look like under heat? I do need to tell you this, Mason, though. Since you missed yesterday, I made an official announcement on the show for myself. I'm abandoning the Austin Mack camp.
I will not.
It's fine. That's fine. You can keep cooking around the fire here.
It's not looking good for me, but I will not.
In the Austin Mack camp. I'll leave all the supplies for you. You can the tent is there.
We will thrive.
The spear.
It'll be a mansion by the end of the season.
The spears in the back, the shovels in the back.
Those will be nukes by the end of the year.
I'm leaving. I'm going to the Ty Simpson compound. The Ty Simpson compound has water, has fresh water.
Sure.
The Ty Simpson compound has electricity. There's a base. There's a stability there. I'm leaving you in the cold, and I'm going inside.
They don't have any fun over there. Really lame at the Ty Simpson compound. It's just so boring, and
But maybe lame.
Not any pizzazz.
But maybe lame and boring is stable. Is a place where things can grow, where things can thrive.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah,
it seems like things are maybe headed that way. From anything I have heard, everything I've seen, anything I have heard, it seems like things are heading the way that Ty Simpson is going to be your starter this year. And that's okay.
Best quarterback plays. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yes. I don't know. I'm not gonna
make sure you put up the mosquito nets.
I don't.
Properly
if Ty
set your bear
Simpson
traps.
is your best quarterback option, I don't feel great about this team. That's what I'll say.
We'll see on A-Day.
If he is the best option that they have, I don't feel great about them going and competing for a championship next year.
Whoa, did you see championship odds? I should have brought this up today. I'm pretty sure I'll hit like on it, so it should be pretty close in my sheet up here. Championship odds. I know I saw Alabama at 15-1. No, I did not like it. Either that or Elon messes with what I like and keeps up with, of course, because I'm liking all kinds of anti-propaganda stuff. And so I'm sure my algorithm's getting all flagged. But I did see Alabama was 15-1. You put $100? That's $1,500. If my math is correct. $100, $1,500 return. I like that. I saw that and I thought, I need to find a state where sports gambling is legal.
I'd probably do it, and I'm probably cashing out on that one.
I think
I'd cash out at $800 or so when they tell me.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think it's good value.
When they're right in the mix to make it to the SEC championship, I'll cash out then.
Right after the LSU win.
Yeah, right before they lose to Oklahoma. Yeah,
they smack LSU and everybody. Just like we were like, what did we say that Monday after? That's the best team in college football. I remember saying that. Idiot Joe. That's the best team in college football. Well, LSU stinks.
Yes, they do.
Fooled by my biases.
Yeah, and I'd probably take that, but I wouldn't feel overly confident about it.
Okay.
That's a cash out for me.
All right, Mason, we got to get out of here. I'm going to talk to Nate Oates. I'm actually moving back to the Alabama beat for a little bit of time, just to cover Alabama, Florida. Katie taking the Wednesday off. That's great. I hope that she enjoys that. Thursday, we may need to go about 10 minutes earlier. And I think we'll have Katie Wyndham join us. I want to make Katie a permanent staple for Thursdays. Bring a feminine touch and make this show a lot smarter, honestly.
That's fair. Be a lot less of just people yelling at each other and maybe some actual real analytics and statistics to back up arguments rather than us just, I feel this way.
Katie's really busy right now. Like, okay, we're sitting here BSing on this show. Katie's covering Alabama gymnastics. Katie's covering Alabama softball. Katie's covering Alabama spring football. Katie's covering Alabama men's basketball. Katie's covering, I'm missing something. Gymnastics, softball. She's not doing any baseball. That's all Will Miller. We love you, Will. She's going to be at the women's basketball press conference as well today. That lady's covering like 5 or 6 different sports at Alabama. And so if you're not following Katie_Wyndham, then you're missing out, frankly. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I don't want to be like telling you what you feel, but you are missing out in that case. We're getting out of here for the day. We want to thank Derek Daniel and State Farm for sponsoring the program, hosting the program. I want to thank Warren Tire and Auto for sponsoring the program, being a part of the program. Make sure you check out Warren Tire. They are a Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple. They're in the 3rd generation of family ownership. Shout out Russ Warren. He's starting himself up a podcast soon. You may want to check that out as well. Warren Tire and Auto, they've got 2 places to better serve you. You got brakes, tires, and alignment on 15th Street at 205-759-5505. And all other automotive needs, reach out to University Boulevard, 205-758-2739. 2 great locations, a Tuscaloosa staple, really a trusted brand. Everybody, look, my biggest fear with mechanics is this person qualified? Is this person gonna screw me over? You're going to get qualifications. You're going to get honest work at Warren Tire. Honestly, there's nobody I would trust more than Warren Tire in Tuscaloosa with my vehicle. So thank them. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. Call them, University Boulevard at 205-758-2739 and on 15th Street, 205-759-5505. Leave us a voicemail for tomorrow's show. You've got a lot of basketball tonight. Is Auburn going to go down? Will Alabama bounce back? Do you care about the combine? What is your biggest spring practice question? Call us 205-462-7340, extension 800.